Hey, hey, hey. It's about to be week 4 of the Crawl Cosplay something something tournament. And, well, this time I'm actually getting this little promo video out on time because, we haven't even started yet. So, I think, well, with Raga's permission, I may be publishing this before the week even starts. So, well, you can make a little plan, little scheme to get your house in order before you even start your run, and maybe have a head start on everybody else. Although you shouldn't actually start the run until whatever the time is on the site itself, which of course will be linked in the description. And there you can get the information on when the week officially starts, so to speak, and how much time you have for your runs. This is an illicit little image that Raga sent me. I say illicit because it's not really like secret or illegal, but it is cut off at the top. We don't get to see who this man is. Well, it's Eustachio, I believe, the little summoner guy, the little summoner unique that we all know from the early game of DCSS. So we're cosplaying as Eustachio, which I think is a very, very old cosplay, one of the first. I assume it's probably been altered a bit for this challenge to make it harder. In fact, I'm sure it has, because I see some new spells down here. So we've got a human. Always kind of interesting to play humans. The aptitudes are they're not amazing. If I were to look at the aptitudes for human real quick, I would see a bunch of zeros everywhere, which is it's okay. It's good. It's decent. It's not, I say that -1 is okay, so 0 is actually, in my eyes, a little bit better than average, or a little bit better than okay, I guess would be the word for it. They do have a positive 1 stealth aptitude, which is kind of whatever, and a -1 spellcasting aptitude, which also is just whatever, and -1 shapeshifting, but everything else is 0. They're just very bland. There's nothing too interesting about them. I want to say that they added some kind of goofy ability to them relatively recently. Oh yeah, human. Oh yeah. This was part of PF's. Oh man, am I allowed to criticize the crawl devs in these? Maybe I'll keep this to myself. Let's just say that the Meteoran ability, where they gain HP and MP when revealing new tiles, was mysteriously transferred to human, which I will only say I think was a very strange decision. I'll be very nice about it. I'm keeping my cool. So we're supposed to play a human summoner. Pretty powerful ability, honestly, to be loaded onto human. We're allowed to play any god we want except for Trog or Okawaru, which is a treat in a Crawl Cosplay challenge because usually you're restricted to 1 or 2 gods. And in this one, we simply have to avoid the 2 martial ones, or these particular 2 martial ones. Trog certainly makes sense because, well, I assume we're going to need to be casting spells because we're supposed to be cosplaying as a guy who does summons. Anyway, let's go right on down here. Special rules or notes from the changelog. Summoners start with this new spell, the Crocodile, the Seismosaurus Egg. They've taken away the Blazeheart Golem, which I didn't really like much anyway. And they've taken away Lightning Spire, which has been nerfed into the ground, so kind of makes me shrug my shoulders. I don't know much about these spells. Let's read about them. Eringia's Surprising Crocodile creates a temporary shallow water. That's abusable maybe for movement speed and whatnot and missed chance. And a Lunging Crocodile all at once to drag an enemy and the caster back. And the caster? Curious how that works. I know that crocodiles will attack and drag things into the water, but I don't know why it says drag an enemy and the caster back. I'm curious how that works. Certainly it would be a good summon. Crocodiles are a reasonably powerful monster, although level 4, I'd have to play with it to see how balanced that is. And then level 4 summon Earth. Seismosaurus Egg creates an egg that will hatch into a mighty dinosaur if the caster stays next to it with a visible enemy. So it's another one of these new sort of newfangled abilities that takes a few turns to take effect. You don't get to summon it apparently if visible enemies are not around, which is interesting. It's kind of the same thing they did to, what is it, the Simulacrum spell, where it's like really powerful, but it takes many turns to activate. This is not something I'd probably be a big fan of, although for all I know, maybe the Seismosaurus is real strong. It's 2 schools, though, so I might ignore that. But let's see what the conducts are. Number 1, weapons. Only train short blades, long blades, and fighting for weapon skills. This implies you are not allowed to train throwing and ranged weapons. Seems easy enough. Honestly, we could just maybe go dex and int and be a long blade guy. Probably wouldn't do short blades, but you know, who knows? Maybe we find a really good artifact or whatever. Kind of leave it up in the air based on what you find as usual, but probably you're going to end up with a long blade. And certainly you do want to train some of these. It's really hard to play a pure caster that never uses melee. And everybody wants fighting, of course, so that's glad that that's not banned. But that's just weapon skills. It doesn't say anything about dodging or armor, so that's good. We can still get defenses and, of course, shields, unless there's another conduct below this that stops us. So let's go to number 2. Summoning, reach skill level 21 in summoning. Very, very straightforward. We would probably want to do that anyway. That's a pretty high number, so I'm thinking this is going to be an int-heavy character. We get a good number of stat ups as a human, including ones that we get to direct. So, yeah, I mean, just pump int for the most part. Get your spells castable. You're going to 21, so you're going to be casting a whole lot of them anyway. And this crocodile thing looks like it'll probably get you through the mid-game, or at least 2 S branches, maybe past them. Hopefully you find a higher level spell, maybe summon Hydra or something. Magic. Cast Iringia's Surprising Crocodile and summon Seismosaurus Egg at least 27 times each. Frankly, you don't even have to train Earth to get that guy online. He's only level 4. You could probably get yourself 5 levels or so and then just leave it at that. Very, very inexpensive experience-wise to train skills in the early game. Like the first few levels, 0 to 5 especially, is basically no experience in terms of the grand scheme of the game. So you could take your Earth to 5 and then leave it at that. Don't feel like you gotta pump Earth like a madman. Although these conducts so far don't seem to they don't seem to do much in terms of stopping you from using other spell schools. So you could branch out a little bit. Alrighty, so those are our cosplay conduct points. That's 15 points, and then there's the, man, am I getting everything? There's all the usual ones that add up to 50, so I don't need to go over those again. That's, if you were to win a 3-rune game, you would get your other, 35 points. 35 plus 15 is, of course, 50, so there you go. I kind of want to make sure I'm not going crazy. I feel like there was more than this. Am I remembering wrong? I haven't done the star ones yet. Well, let's just look at the currently on Kelby, but probably soon to go somewhere else, cosplay website, cosplay.kelby.org for the time being. Going to be moving to crawlcosplay.org soon, I believe. Here we go, Crawl Cosplay Trunk Tournament. Let's just look at the current week and make sure I'm not losing my mind. Nobody Grudge of the Unmourned. That's week 3. We already went over that one. Yeah, it's just milestones. And that is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 35 points. Okay. I'm not crazy. So those are just the usual, reach XL3, go through the game, get a rune, blah, 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 blah. You get 3 runes, you're going to probably, definitely going to get that, so don't worry about those. So yeah, the bonus challenges. Mock the truck. So here we go. If you want to be a completionist like I am, you are indeed married to using one particular god, which is Mokleb. Mokleb has been changed significantly in Trunk, and I haven't had a chance to actually play with him. So my advice is going to be a little bit limited there. However, I'm under the impression that there are a lot of really cool, they're called marks, I believe, and they looked like, it looked pretty interesting mechanically, to be honest. Some of them looked way more powerful than the others, so I'm not sure how well balanced it is. But Mokleb has been needing a redesign for a long time, just a really long time. So any change they could have made is probably welcome. But with regard to the marks, I know there was one that was just head and shoulders above the others in my mind, where it was this thing that like activated randomly without any action on the player's part. Just like when I think it was when your HP went below half, it just shot a bunch of attacks at everybody around you, which seems incredible to me because from what I was reading, it does a ton of damage, doesn't take an action on your part. You got to get to full HP, I believe, before it comes back or whatever, or is active again or can activate again. But that's fine because at that point you've resolved your problem probably. I'm always a big fan of mechanics that just allow you to get turn economy or solve a really bad situation. Typically speaking in DCSS, your god choice should not be the thing that gets you through the game. It should be the thing that saves you in bad situations. 9 times out of 10. You typically don't build a character around a god. You kind of use the god's abilities to rescue you when you've made a mistake. Not always true, but that's often how it works. And I would call that one probably, if I had to guess, the best mark choice. So if you see something like that, I would guess that's the one you should pick. I believe that's a capstone. And I believe you still probably, if I remember correctly, you still have the summons for demons and things like that, which if they haven't changed that, don't even touch it. Maybe use the minor demon, the lesser demon ability. That one's okay. But having a greater demon that goes hostile on you, if that's still possible, not the best choice. Mokleb it's going to be a lot like running through the game without a god at all. I guess I could, just to be sure, we could type in Mokleb here in the LearnDB and let's see, Mokleb. Minor Destruction and Major Destruction are now combined into Unleash Destruction. Lesser and Greater Servant have become Infernal Servant. I got merged. At 4-star Piety, your destruction gets flavored with one of the hells. See, Unleash Destruction 2. One gets a choice of Infernal Mark. There it is. That's the thing I'm talking about. Destruction now costs more HP and is more varied. I don't like that. That usually when things are varied, that's a bad thing for the player because you want stuff to be consistent. You want to know what's going to happen when you use your ability, especially if you're paying HP for it. Servant takes a fair bit of invocations to access stronger demons and cost more piety than Lesser Servant did. Heals on kills are more noticeable at lower piety ranks. That's probably good. Marks can give great power, though you'll always be silver vulnerable. Whew. Well, watch out for that. I didn't know it gave you a vuln to silver. That's wild. Well, I don't know. Heal on kill is it's a nice little it's a trinket, so to speak. It's nice to have. Helps you more when you're screwing up than when you're playing well, but you're not going to be sad to have it. So there's always that. I feel like if I was playing this character, I would probably ignore the active abilities to a large degree. Maybe not even bother to get any invocations. Enjoy my heal on kill and get some kind of super powerful mark that hopefully is not invocations gated as well. Although maybe it is. Play at your own risk, I suppose. Look up whatever mark you choose and probably pick the one that I talked about because it sounded like the best. And then bonus challenge number 2. And again, these are for the stars that are kind of the tiebreakers. New meat, it's called. Kill 3 of the following 5 new monsters. Alder Kings, Fey Trees, and Necromantic Masters of Depths. Fravashi, Mid-tier Warriors, Summoning Angels, and Holy Pan. Nekomata, which I've heard are terrifying. Self-cloning, Ranged Cat Demons for Pan. Oni Incarcerators, Manifold Assault Users for Gehenna. I just realized I read that first line as though it was 3 different things. Apparently Elder Kings are Fey Trees that are also Necromantic Masters, which feels like an odd thematic mismatch perhaps, but whatever, that's fine. And then the last one was Wormholes, Terrifying Relocations Drakes for Depths. And they're called Wormholes? Like, okay, that's cute. The Y. Alrighty. So it's 3 of the following 5 new monsters. So I assume what they really mean here is one of... you can't just, like, kill 3 Elder Kings. It's got to be 3 dudes on this list. Which it looks like you'll probably run into all of these just on a regular run without even going to Extended. well, maybe not. You're probably going to see an Elder King in depths, if I had to guess. Typically, you see one of just about everything the game has to offer in a particular branch. So probably you'll see an Elder King in depths. Probably you'll see a wormhole either in depths or Zot. But then if the Fravashi and Nekomata and Incarcerator don't show up in anywhere else typically, unless there's a specific vault to spawn those in maybe depths or something, or like a custom, spawning stuff outside of the usual spawn table type situation, you may actually have to go into Pandemonium or Gehenna. So the funny thing is, there's no conduct in here that kind of mandates you go to Extended in any other way. So it kind of makes the world our oyster a bit. And this run is not, I mean, honestly, it's very open. Like, there's nothing stopping you from sort of doing the game in whatever order you want. I don't see any rules here that prevent you from having a grand old time and optimizing to your heart's content. So we're not blocked with really much at all. I mean, this is probably the easiest week we've had yet, now that I'm thinking about it. The only limitation this character has, in my mind, is the only meaningful limitation is that we're not allowed to use weapons other than short blades or long blades. So, I mean, I don't miss throwing. I don't miss ranged weapons. This is probably a character that he's casting, so he doesn't even need to think about it. We can still get evocations, so that's rad. Typically, you don't get, a ranged option and evocations at the same time anyway, so, yeah, that's great. The only thing we're missing out on really is axes, which axes are great to have, but whatever. We can just sword and board it. Long blade, shield, get high summoning. Summoning is probably the most powerful school in the game to this date, and pretty much always has been. We got to use Mokleb, so unfortunately we can't go Sif Muna and guarantee access to really good spells, but that's cool. We'll find something. I mean, we have as many attempts as we want, so even if the game is just horrendously stingy, you can just start over. Yeah, just be a summoner, dude. Just get yourself some really good summon, find Malign Gateway and rock out with that. Go for high level spells. Get Summon Horrible Things. Get Dragon's Call if you're feeling particularly frisky, although you really don't need to go that far. And honestly, I would argue the lower level spells are better in some ways. They don't rob you of all your mana in one go. But yeah, Malign Gateway with the Eldritch Tentacle is just, in my mind, cream of the crop, best summon spell in the game. Even after the big nerf where it doesn't fight off screen, it's still awesome. 1v1's just about anything in the game and wins. Summon Hydra is great if you can get it. It gets you through the mid game and past. It's just, I don't know, so many good options in the late game. Probably this Crocodile spell will take you places in the mid game, and especially in the sort of lead up to the mid game, going through depths. I'm sure you'll have it online with all those halfway decent aptitudes. 0 aptitude, it'll take you far. So yeah, this is a really straightforward run. It has the added flavor of using Mokleb, which is a little non-standard on a character like this. But I feel like it just go just fine. It's gonna have a grand old time. I kind of wish I had time to play in this tournament, because this looks like a fun little, just a really relaxing jaunt through the dungeon. Let's call it. Yeah, alrighty. And I would get a chance to try out the new Mokleb, but I don't know. Maybe for funsies, I will do a run, just a quick one, and maybe do a really quick stream of it. I don't know. Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything. So yeah, in the comments, feel free to let me know as usual how your run goes. Talk to me about ideas, theory crafting. I'm always down for that. I'll write 500 pages about DCSS if you want me to. So, but yeah, questions are welcome, comments, and a little story time about your runs. So hope you guys enjoyed and found this useful, and good luck with the Crawl Cosplay Trunk Tournament.